The air on the bridge was a toxic cocktail of ozone and fear. Red emergency lighting painted long, dancing shadows across the frantic figures of the Calarian crew, their movements jerky and desperate. A deep, grinding groan echoed from the very foundations of the colony, the sound of a moon tearing itself apart. "Sector 7 comms are dead. I repeat, we've lost Sector 7. A voice shrieked from a communications console. "Pressure dropping in the East Quadrant. The emergency seals aren't holding." Another added, their 4 upper limbs flying across a holographic interface. But Navigator Zilix heard none of it. To him, the cacophony of physical collapse was mere background noise. His full attention was fixed on a secondary monitor, where a single, sickly green waveform pulsed with a malevolent rhythm. It was not geological. It was not mechanical. It was something else. "Correlation confirmed," Zilix whispered, his respiratory tendrils coiling tightly against his thorax. Another spike in the subharmonic frequency, microseconds before the mess hall riot. He adjusted a dial, his slender digits moving with the surgeon's precision. "It's a modulated signal. It's intelligent." The main bridge door hissed open, momentarily silencing the chaos. Security Chief Kalen strode in, his combat light armor making him seem twice the size of anyone else on the bridge. His mandibles were set in a hard line of grim determination, and his eyes swept the room with undisguised contempt for the panic. "Navigator," Kalen's voice was a low growl that cut through the noise. "Give me a report that involves escape routes, not ghost stories." Zilix's head snapped up. "Chief, you have to see this. The violence, the paranoia, it isn't just stress. It's being caused by this." He pointed a trembling digit at the green wave. "I call it the echo. It's a signal, and it's driving us mad." Kalen glanced at the screen for a fraction of a second before dismissing it. "What I see is a colony coming apart at the seams. I have men dying under a mountain of rock, Zilix. Your echo won't plug a hull breach or reinforce a tunnel. You're treating the symptom, not the plague," Zilix insisted, rising from his chair. "Don't you see? The landslides, the equipment malfunctions, they all happened after the initial reports of crew hallucinations. This thing is actively working against us." "Enough!" Kalen snapped. "Your scientific fantasies are useless here. My men will secure the primary shelters, and we will wait for a conventional rescue. Now get back to plotting viable exit vectors." Suddenly, a technician at a nearby console let out a piercing, agonized scream. It was a sound that cut through every other alarm. He scrambled back from his station, clawing at his own helmet. "It's in my head," he shrieked, his eyes wide with a terror that dwarfed the simple fear of the disaster. "The whispers! They're in the walls! Get them out!" Before anyone could react, he lunged forward, smashing his fist into the console with insane force. Sparks flew as the screens shattered. 2 of Kalen's heavily armed guards tackled the technician, pinning him to the deck as he thrashed and sobbed about a darkness that speaks. A chilling silence fell over the bridge. Kalen stared at the subdued technician, then his gaze slowly shifted to Zilix. For the first time, a flicker of uncertainty, of pure, cold fear crossed the security chief's hardened face. It was in that precise moment of silence that the main communications channel flared to life, overriding all other systems. The static cleared, but there was no face on the main screen, only a stark, unfamiliar insignia. A voice spoke. It was calm, articulate, and utterly devoid of emotion. It spoke their language perfectly. "Colony LV-742, we have registered your distress signal. We also confirm the presence of an Omega-class biosignature. We are the UEV." Alien whispers. "We are coming." There was a pause, heavy with unspoken threat. "Do not interfere." The channel went dead. The Calarians on the bridge looked at each other, a new and terrible dread settling over them. They were trapped on a dying moon, haunted by an invisible monster that drove them mad, and now help was on its way. Help in the form of Deathworlders, arriving on a ship named for the very horror that plagued their minds.